Electrolysis. Electrolysis is a chemical reaction that takes place in an electrolyte during the conductance of electricity. In the beginning of this chapter itself, we discussed about this electrolysis in a brief manner. Now we are going to discuss this electrolysis in detail, because though so many changes, or that means conditions are there for that electrolysis. In the beginning of the chapter, just we touch that electrolysis. In detail, now we are going to study this electrolysis. For electrolysis, we will use a cell known as electrolytic cell. It is made up of a insulating material. Sometimes when iron was used as a electrolytic cell, it will be coated with graphite or bakelite, that is a non-conducting material inside the cell. So, this electrolytic cell should not be a conductor of electricity. If metals are used, then inside the electrolytic cell we coated with a graphite or bakelite or some other insulating material. So, this is a rectangular or vertical container which consists of an electrolyte. It may be in a fused state or in the form of an aqueous solutions generally. Some two metal rods are immersed in it. They are called as electrodes. Two metal rods are immersed in it. Sometimes the cell itself will act as a cathode in some reactions where we are not using that insulating material. In such cases, the cell itself, if a metallic cell itself can be used as a cathode in general in some reactions, specific reactions. The electrode which is connected to a positive terminal is called as anode, and electrode which is connected to a negative terminal is called as cathode. This is the external battery or voltaic cell which supplies electrical energy to this cell. Now, here let us discuss, as we discussed earlier in the beginning of the chapter, we have taken fused sodium chloride. This fused sodium chloride is ionized state. It ionizes to give Na plus and Cl minus ions. Before applying the external EMF, the positive ions and negative ions are free to move in all directions in a solution. Whenever you apply external EMF, their movement is restricted, and all positive ions will move towards cathode and all negative ions will move towards anode only. There what happens? In anode, this is anode, a positive electrode is called as anode and a negative electrode is called as cathode. So, at anode, Cl minus ions will reach anode. There they oxidize and release electrons. These electrons will move through this copper wire and reaches the cathode. So, at cathode, and there they take those two electrons and reduced as sodium. This is a simple reaction that carried out. Anions will move towards anode and cations will move towards the cathode. Oxidation reaction will take place at anode and reduction reaction will take place at cathode. This is general process in the electrolytic cell. But if you carefully observe these electrolysis, there are so many restrictions and exceptions basing on the electrolyte that we are going to use for electrolysis and the electrodes which we are going to use, and sometimes the voltage can also be influence the product which has to be oxidized or reduced at respective electrodes. Now, let us discuss one by one. First thing is electrode. Electrodes are of two types. One is active electrodes and other one is inert electrodes. Active electrodes means the electrodes which itself undergone to chemical changes is said to be active electrode, and those electrodes which will not undergone to chemical changes during the electrolytic process are said to be inert electrodes. For example, graphite, platinum, gold are considered as inert electrodes because they will not undergone to electrolytic reactions during the conductance of electricity. But most of the metals, they are involved in the electrode reactions. Later in the next few minutes we are going to discuss that also. So, that is one thing that we have to remember. That means, if electrode is an active electrode, it itself sometimes will take part into a chemical reaction, particularly at anode reactions. If metal is used as an anode, in most of the cases it will take part into the chemical reaction. And second is basing on the electrolytic cell, this electrolyte which we are electrolyzing. For example, here we are taken fused sodium chloride, but in case of aqueous sodium chloride electrolysis, the products are different. Because if you take aqueous sodium chloride solution, in aqueous sodium chloride solution, what are the contents that are present? One is Na plus ion, another one is Cl minus ion, and since aqueous molecules are there, there are H2O molecules and slightly H plus ions and OH minus ions also present, because when a salt is dissolved, the ionized form also, in normal conditions water is not ionizable, but in extraordinary conditions when the salts and electrolytes are dissolved in it, water itself ionizes to certain extent to produce H plus and OH minus ions. So, these are the ions that present and molecules which are supposed to oxidize or reduce. Now, if we carefully observe the electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride using platinum electrodes, that is inert electrodes, let us observe the products what they are going to form. This is anodes. So, anode, this will participate in anode reaction, that is why I am writing this here. Now, the thing is, sodium when reduces, it gives Na. Its electrode potential, reduction potential of sodium, E reduction, will be minus 2.01 volt. Whereas H2O, when it reduced as hydrogen, its reduction potential is observed as minus 0.41 volts. When hydrogen ion is reduced as H2, its reduction potential is found to be 0. Now, at cathode, the ion with high reduction potential will reduce first. The reaction with high reduction potential will carried out first. Now, when aqueous sodium chloride is electrolyzed, these are the possibilities of reactions. Out of this, which if you observe, this H plus 2 give H2O is the highest reduction potential, that is negative, 0. All are negative values, so it is neither positive nor negative, since it is 0. This reaction will take first. Next, water will reduce as hydrogen gas, and here the potential is minus 4.1. As long as these two are present in the solution, this reaction is not possible. That is why when you electrolyze aqueous sodium chloride with the platinum electrodes at cathode, you will not get sodium. If you want sodium, you have to electrolyze its fused content. That means, when fused NaCl is electrolyzed, then only you will get sodium at cathode. But if you electrolyze aqueous NaCl at cathode, only hydrogen gas is liberated. Sodium will never discharge at cathode in the electrolysis of aqueous NaCl. What about aqueous copper sulfate? When aqueous copper sulfate solution is taken, the copper ions electrode potential Cu plus 2, reduction potential of copper Cu plus 2 plus 2E minus give Cu. Its potential is found to be plus 0.34 volts. It is much higher than hydrogen. If you take silver also, the silver reduction potential is nearly plus 0.80 volts. So, if solutions like silver and copper, even if you electrolyze their aqueous solutions, these metals are discharged at cathodes because their reduction potential are far higher than the reduction potential of hydrogen. But any active metals, lithium, sodium, potassium, calcium, aluminum, magnesium, whatever they are present above hydrogen in the electrochemical series, you cannot get those metals during the electrolysis of their aqueous solutions. You can get those metals only when you electrolyze their fused solutions. But the metals like copper, silver, which are present below electrochemical series, below hydrogen in the electrochemical series, can be reduced at cathode. So, if two or more cations are available in the electrolyte, preferentially they discharge at cathodes. First, the ion with highest electrode reduction potential will discharge first at cathode, then the next ion, then the next ion, then the next ion. As long as H plus ions are present, it is not possible to discharge sodium from its electrolyte as a metal. Now come to the reduction, anode reactions. In anode, oxidation reaction will take place. So, at anode, if oxidation takes place at anode, here also you have to observe that, you have to remember that the ion with highest oxidation potential will liberate first. That means the reaction with the least reduction potential will oxidize. We know for any electrode, if oxidation potential is positive, reduction potential will be negative. If reduction potential is negative, oxidation potential will be positive. So, at anode, oxidation reaction will take place. That is why highest oxidation potential reaction will take place at anode. In terms of reduction potentials, if you consider the reaction with the least reduction potential will take place at anode. Let us observe the electrolysis of CuSO4 solution. When CuSO4 solution, aqueous solution is electrolyzed, you will have SO4 minus 2 ions, then H2O. So, here they have oxidation has to be takes place. Oxidation means it should release electrons. So, oxidation SO4 oxidized as S2O8 minus 2 plus 2E minus, its potential is found to be minus 2.01 volt. H2O gives O2 plus 2E minus plus 2H plus. Here the reaction potential is found to be minus 1.26 volts, minus 1.26 volts, sorry 23. So, electrolyzing on the electrolysis of aqueous CuSO4 copper sulphate solution, sulphates ions are present and water molecules are present. So, water can also oxidize as water, oxygen, or a sulphate can also oxidize as paradisulfate. So, out of these two, highest oxidation potential is this, because this is negative values, least negative value will be highest. That is why here highest oxidation potential is to this reaction. That is why instead of O2, instead of oxidation of SO4 of electrolyte, the ions of water which is present here is oxidized at anode. That is why oxygen is liberated at an cathode and copper is deposited at anode. When if you use anode, inert anode means, or if you use graphite or platinum as anodes, then only oxygen will liberated. Suppose if you use copper as an electrode, copper is an active electrode, what happens? When copper is used, the copper atoms present in the copper electrode can convert as copper ions, it can oxidize as copper ions. Here the oxidation potential of copper is found to be minus 0.34 volts. So, when comparison with oxygen to copper, this is more prominent than this reaction. So, instead of releasing oxygen here, copper will dissolve and goes into the solution. When inert electrode is used, when we have to compare these two potentials, and this reaction is preferably takes place. But if copper is used as an electrolyte, electrode, then this reaction is high oxidation potential. So, here copper dissolve and goes into the solution. So, when copper sulphate solution is electrolyzed using copper electrodes, the copper dissolve at anode and deposited at cathode. That is why there will be no change in the concentration of electrolyte in the electrolysis. Anode is dissolved and deposited at cathode. The mass of anode that lost is equal to mass of cathode that gained, and there will be no change in the concentration of CuSO4. Whereas here, if you electrolyze, the concentration of NaCl, Na plus ions and Cl minus ions are decreasing, go on decreasing. When active electrode is involved, there will be no change in the concentration of electrolyte. The atoms dissolved at anode are deposited at cathode. Anode weight is false and cathode weight is gained, and there will be no change in the concentration of electrolyte. This is the most important point that you have to understand. So, here when two or more electrode reactions are possible, which reaction that has to be takes place will depend upon the potential of that reaction. If it is anode reaction, the reaction with highest oxidation potential will take place. If it is a cathode reaction, the reaction with highest reduction potential will take place. If you want to compare anode with respect of reduction potential, the reaction with least reduction potential will take place first. This is most important things that you have to remember, because in objective level examinations, also in competitive examinations like NEET and IIT JEE, they will give some electrolyte and they give some electrodes, and they may ask you to write the electrode reactions. In such cases, you should remember what is anode first. Here most of the cases you have to concentrate on anode. There will be no difference whether active electrode or inactive electrode that takes place at cathode, but most of the reactions change will occur at anode. So, you should carefully observe which electrode was there. If both are inert electrode, electrolyte concentration is gradually decreases. If anode is active, there will be no change in the concentration of electrolyte, because anode will dissolve and deposit it at cathode. And another thing that we have to observe here in the electrolysis is sometimes unexpected reactions will take place due to voltage or kinetic barriers. For example, when you are using the aqueous NaCl, in the electrolysis of aqueous NaCl, in electrolyte we have possible reactions may be 2Cl minus gives Cl2 plus 2E minus, H2O, 2H2O gives O2 plus 2 4OH minus plus 4E minus. So, here the potentials, if you observe, the oxidation potential for chlorine is 1.36 volts, whereas for water is minus 1.23 volts. If you compare, the oxidation potential of oxygen is less. So, this reaction has to be takes place. That means oxygen should liberate at anode by using platinum electrodes or graphite electrode, because chlorine reaction oxidation potential is less than oxygen. So, it should not take place, but here due to kinetic barrier, the mobility of ions makes is less when compared to Cl minus ions. The mobility of Cl minus ions is more. So, because of that, they cannot move fastly towards anode. First the Cl minus ions will reach the anode, and here because of that, the theoretical value 1.2 volts for that reaction is not sufficient. More voltage is required to reduce oxygen. In such cases, if you supply normal voltage, then preferably chlorine will discharge first. This is unexpected results. This type of products, there so many in other reactions also we will observe. So, here instead of oxygen, actually theoretically oxygen is supposed to liberate at anode in the electrolysis of aqueous NaCl, because these two possibilities are there. But unexpectedly here more chlorine is liberated than oxygen. Of course, traces of oxygen sometimes we will observe in the electrolysis, but main product that obtained at anode in the electrolysis of aqueous NaCl is Cl2. This is an unexpected product that obtained in the electrolysis of aqueous NaCl. So, these are the most important points that you have to remember about the electrolysis of different electrolytes, changing the electrons.